On today's show, the LA Clippers take care of business in Dallas without Luka, Doncic, and Kyrie Irving playing, and got Derrick Jones Jr. back in the process. What were the most impressive parts of yet another win as a new streak begins on today's Locked On Clippers?
You are Locked On Clippers, your daily Los Angeles Clippers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, sir. You were locking in with the Clips. Thank you for making Locked On Clippers the first listen of your day, your team every day. I'm your host, Darian Vaziri, born and raised in LA and in my 20th season as a Clipper fan. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DimeDropperPod and subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, for even more LA Clipper and LA sports content. And Locked On Clippers is free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. Let me know what you think of this win. Derrick Jones Jr. being back. Just about anything you want to tell me. And Locked On Clippers now has a daily newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at lockedondaily.com. It's your daily newsletter. I write it. It would be really appreciated if you signed up. It's lockedondaily.com to sign up and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Clippers newsletter. Clipper Nation. Oh, and this episode is also brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Clipper Nation, we heard the news. No Luka Doncic with a heel contusion, and then no Kyrie Irving, and the return of Derrick Jones Jr. I'll talk more about the Derrick Jones Jr. return later in the episode because he didn't play that much. He was on a minutes restriction. But what incredible news. Obviously, I don't want anybody to get injured, and I would rather beat the Mavericks with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. But considering they don't have them, who am I to feel sorry for other teams when we've had Kawhi Leonard out every single year of our existence? So, especially right now, we got to take any win that we can get, any advantage that we can get, and we did exactly that with a 118-95 win in our first game against the Mavericks this season. Of course, we're going to play them again on Saturday night in Dallas yet again. But I love that we ended up winning by 23, even though this game was a pretty competitive game for the majority of it. At halftime, it was neck and neck. We were actually down after the first quarter, 30-24. And I thought we came out a little complacent, a little bit, taking our competition for granted. And James Harden had 4 turnovers in that first quarter. And our defense just wasn't sharp enough as a team. But you have your best player turning the ball over 4 times in one quarter. That's not the best start to the game. And Jim Jackson, I thought, said it best. He said the exact words that the Clippers were not applying the pressure to make Dallas uncomfortable. Usually you see that ball pressure, that defense, that gets other teams flustered, causes turnovers. And to start the game, we went with Derrick Jones Jr., Ivica Zubac, James Harden, Norman Powell, and Chris Dunn. So the exact starting lineup that was playing prior to Derrick Jones Jr.'s injury. And in this game, we went with Mo Bamba, Amir Coffey, Kevin Porter Jr., and Nicholas Batum. So we only went 9 deep. We didn't play Bones Highland, and we didn't play Jordan Miller. So let me know what you think of that decision. Not playing Jordan Miller until garbage time. And honestly, I would have not played him at all because he only has 50 games on that 2-way contract. And until we move a contract, we're not signing him to a standard, I don't think. We can't do that. So I would have rather saved the game for him, but it is what it is. 118-95. What's my biggest takeaway from the game? Our big 3 came to play yet again. Second straight win after 3 straight losses. It all begins with James Harden. Finding ways to get in the paint, making plays. He had this beautiful between the legs cross on PJ Washington early in that second, actually I think it was early in that third quarter. And I thought James Harden's defense in this game was one of his better defensive games of the season. Really solid job one-on-one defending. Good moments of hands and pokeaways. But I just thought overall, defending the ball, he did a very solid job. There was a sequence in that second quarter where he had a 3-ball and then a stop on P.J. Washington the very next play. And with the 5 straight points that we got to end the quarter from Derrick Jones Jr. and 15 in the half from Harden, 12 from Norm, we went into the half up 50-49. Third quarter and fourth quarter is when we really took over. Outscored the Mavs 39-28 in the third and 29-18 in the fourth. I thought James Harden did a great job in pick and rolls. And then there's the second part of the equation, Norman Powell. Coming off screens, draining shots. But what I loved in this game was they started sending their big man, whether it be Lively or Gafford, out to Norman Powell when he was coming off those screens, off those curls, off those flare screens. And I thought he did a very good job of getting rid of the ball when he drew 2 defenders, finding Ivica Zubac on that roll. And a lot of times the Dallas Maverick rotations were not sharp. So Ivica Zubac was getting the ball underneath the basket with nobody there, just dunking. And then when guys got there, I mean, Zoo's 7 feet tall. So if he's catching it around the paint or in the paint with the touch that he has, that's going to be a tough situation for you to get a stop unless you put 2 bodies on him. And right now you've already taken 2 guys out of the play that are guarding the ball. And I thought one thing that was awesome from Zoo was he was starting to slip that screen and, realize that, look, they're going to jump out at Norm. I'm just going to go 1 second early and get an easier, lane of the basket. So Norm, I thought, was spectacular. Even with the assists, 5 of them in this game, he was able, and it was a lot of those jump scoop passes, but it worked out for him. But he was able to still score 29 points to lead us in scoring. So, amazing performance from Norm. He said it after the game, vote me All-Star. Voting did begin on Thursday, so go and start filling out your ballots. James Harden, Ivica Zubac, and Norman Powell all have cases, but I definitely think Norman Powell and James Harden more so. But, man, how good has Norm been this season? And then let's not forget about Zoo, who I thought was phenomenal in this game on both ends of the floor, protecting the rim, finishing well on the roll. As I've mentioned so many times this season, and Jim Jackson did a little segment on it before the game, talking about Zoo and how much more comfortable he's gotten making decisions in pick and rolls and out of the short roll. When teams blitz Norman Powell or James Harden and he catches the ball and has a 4-on-3 decision, he didn't have that quick processing speed, a couple of years ago. But now the game is slowed down for him. You're seeing pass fakes. You're seeing lookaways, and then he goes to the basket. You're seeing the game slow down. And he said it himself, just more reps, more time, starting to become easier for him. And then throwing the ball to him in the low post. He had some beautiful spin moves, some jump hooks, huge and ones. In the fourth quarter, he had 2 huge and ones. The second one was my favorite, where they were sandwiching him on the post entry. Nico very smartly flashed to the foul line, got the ball, and immediately threw the lob for that high-low action. That is how you counter that sandwich stuff. But that 21-6 run, after we were down 61-63, with Chris Dunn's ejection in the middle of it, putting his hand around the neck of the rookie Gortman, I honestly have nothing bad to say about that. It is what it is. Chris Dunn's got to be careful. He might get suspended a game. Just control his emotions. He can't put hands around the neck, but whatever. League's soft with those things, in my opinion, now. But we started making shots. That's part of the reason why the run started. We just started making shots. We had a really good stretch in that third quarter. We were 12 for 15 to begin that quarter. And then they just started showing who they were. And what I mean by that is they didn't have Luka. They didn't have Kyrie. So they were going to start missing eventually. They shot 40% in the quarter. We shot 70% in the quarter. So, with our defense and their offense, eventually the quality was going to show. And I thought Amir Coffey, he added to that onslaught. A big 3-ball, a nice contest, and then a mid-range after pump faking 2 guys. Getting them in the air, closing out. So we kind of ended up cruising. I thought the plays that really ended the game were James Harden's 3-ball over Klay Thompson in the fourth quarter, and then Norm's trailer 3 from Derrick Jones Jr.'s pass. That was They capped off a 9-2 run, made it 107-92, and we just cruised to the finish, 118-95. James Harden, another really good game. 24 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. Only turned the ball over 2 times after that first quarter. Did finish with 6 turnovers on 6 for 14 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, and 10 for 10 from the line. And Brian Seaman said we're undefeated when James Harden shoots 10 or more free throws. So, hey, keep getting to the line, keep being aggressive, James, because very solid performance, really good reads and pick and roll as always. Norman Powell, 29 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 turnovers on 10 for 19 shooting, 4 for 8 from 3, and 5 for 5 from the line in 38 minutes. He is my player of the game in this one. Just so good. Shooting the ball. He did get steals, but I thought his defense was actually not very good. On ball or off. But, man, I love the aggression. I love him getting downhill, trying to turn the corner on those bigs. And then, of course, constantly being in movement. You know, Norman Powell, his conditioning is special. And then Zubac, who was also somebody you could have, nominated and said was the player of the game. 21 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, just 1 turnover on 10 for 13 shooting and 1 for 2 from the foul line. 118-95 as the final. Your Clippers win it and move on to 16-12. Coming up, going to talk a little bit more about our defense, some of the supporting players, and a particular aspect that I thought we did a great job with. I got to tell you a little something about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best daily fantasy entry app around. The best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this basketball season. Which players are going off? Definitely Norman Powell. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. I got to tell you a little something about Rocket RX. Today's episode is brought to you by Rocket RX. If you're ready to boost your confidence and take control in the bedroom, Rocket RX has the solution. Imagine feeling more prepared and performing at your best. Rocket RX makes it simple and stress-free. Rocket RX offers FDA-approved treatments for erectile dysfunction at a lower cost than branded alternatives. No more uncomfortable doctor visits or pharmacy trips. Everything is delivered straight to your door in discreet, plain packaging. With Rocket RX, you'll get trusted care from a real U.S. clinical team. Complete a quick 100% online consultation, and you can get your free prescription today. Visit rocketrx.com to get started now. It only takes 2 minutes. Right now, our listeners can get 40% off your first order when you use code LOCKEDONNBA. That's rocketrx.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for $30 off your first order. Terms and conditions apply. Rocket RX, better sex made simple. All right. Clippers winning this one 118-95 over the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, no Luka Doncic and no Kyrie Irving, and that is definitely relevant. But we got to go out there and get the job done. And for me, what I figured was this Maverick defense, this Maverick offense with our defense, they shouldn't be scoring points. They really shouldn't be scoring points. But they were. More easy than I expected. And I talked about in that first quarter, we weren't intense enough on the ball, off the ball. Our attention to detail, our effort just wasn't there. But man, I thought one of the biggest reasons why in that second half we were able to get stops is not just our shot contest in the half court, but, and by the way, both sets of bigs were playing drop coverage except for the Norm curls and Norm coming off screens at the top. They were sending their big guy out, but for the most part, drop coverage both ways and switching 1 through 4. What ended up happening was our transition defense, I thought, was pretty good. Our extra effort was there. Like, there was one time where KPJ turned the ball over and then he got back and intercepted a lob almost. There's another time where Nico Batum got back and got a block. How good, by the way. Then Mo Bamba got a block as well. But how good was Nico defensively? I mean, this guy, whether it be on-ball point of attack, ball denial, shot contests, the guy just forces players to miss. That's the simplest way I can put it, is he just forces guys to miss. He was just doing a little bit of everything in this game, wasn't he? 3 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, no turnovers, shot 1 for 5, and all those shots were threes. But he was a +5 in 23 minutes. It's so crazy how little stats show about the impact of a Nicholas Batum. But we just don't get these kinds of wins without him. And Mo Bamba, another guy that his stat line, shooting 1 for 4 and 0 for 2 from 3 in 15 minutes doesn't look too good. But he had 2 points, 7 rebounds, 2 of them offensive rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. And that block, which was the one I referenced, and no turnovers. So no turnovers from him, no turnovers from Nico, no turnovers from Derrick. So better. But 2 categories that we really crushed the Mavs in this game were fast break points and points in the paint. Points in the paint, that comes from Zoo. That's really all because of the pick and roll threat of Zoo, James Harden and Norman Powell getting downhill. We just had more creation on this particular night because they didn't even have Jaden Hardy. So it was really just Spencer Dinwiddie doing a lot of the creating. And, credit to Dallas. The fact that they even kept this close for so long, that's a testament to how solid of a team they are and the way they're playing right now. But, I think they were batting a little bit above their average to be in that game. And eventually the quality showed out. But yeah, Nico, I thought his defense was fantastic. But transition defense, that's a big part of the NBA right now. Teams don't try to crash the offensive boards as much. They get back in transition and try to prevent easy offense for the other team. And so many teams, including the one, in LA, the other team, is terrible defensively in transition. But I thought we did a great job of hauling ass back, sprinting, and just picking up the ball and making plays. It's all about the effort, ladies and gentlemen, with the defense. It is all about the effort. And I thought our effort in the second half was a lot better, and that is dictated by the amount of points we allowed. Just 46 points in the second half. We'll take that all day. Clippers winning at 118-95. Good transition D will get you wins. And coming up, going to talk about Derrick Jones Jr. He's back. It was great to see him. How did he do in that first game back? I got to tell you a little something about FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. And the Kansas City Chiefs are -3.5 against the Texans this weekend. That is on Saturday. Ravens, Steelers also on Saturday. Ravens are -6.5 for that. And then Rams, if you're a Rams fan, at the Jets, -3 on Sunday. And where can you go to find all those betting odds? FanDuel.com. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, Clippers winning at 118-95. Play the same Dallas Maverick team on Saturday, and I don't think it'll be without Luka and Kyrie if I had to guess. But you know who did play in this game, but not in a Mavericks uniform because he's on the Clippers now, is Derrick Jones Jr. And he came back after a 2-game absence from a hamstring strain. 2 games. That's nothing. Happy to have him back, always. And even though he was on a minutes restriction, only played 20 minutes, he was solid. You know what I'm saying? Those 5 points at the end of the second quarter gave us some good momentum going into halftime. He ended up scoring 8 points, 1 big 3 off a James Harden kick in that second half. He had a rebound, he had an assist, he had a steal, he had a block, and he didn't turn the ball over. And he was 2 for 2 from 3 in 20 minutes, and you know he's going to give you a little bit of defense as well. He was a plus 14. So great to have him back. And yeah, we are that close, and Brian was talking about it, to getting Kawhi back. So let me know what you think in the comments. Should we play 10 deep with Jordan Miller, or do you like this 9-man rotation? When Terrence comes back, it'll be back to 10. But then when Kawhi comes back, who's the odd man out? Is it Terrence? Is it KPJ? I think at this rate, maybe KPJ. And we stagger Kawhi and Harden, or Kawhi, Norm, and Harden, or 2 of Kawhi, Harden, Zoo, and Norm. I mean, we have like a big 4 now. But as far as KPJ, I actually thought he was okay. You know, had some good defensive plays. Did turn the ball over twice, but he had 12 points, 4 rebounds on 5 for 11 shooting and 2 for 4 from 3. I don't know if I'd say it was a good game, but some of those points came in garbage time. But he had those 2 big mid-ranges, and I thought those were at a crucial juncture in that second half. So, not bad by any means. I'd say definitely closer to good than bad. But, yeah, I would say he's the odd man out when Kawhi's back. But right now, you know, he's doing enough. But poor Bones Highland. Just feels like it's impossible for him to get a consistent chance. Clippers winning it, though, 118-95. We're now 16-12, 6-6 on the road, 10-6 at home. 16-12 through 28 games. We're going to be over 500 through 30 games. Thank you, James Harden. Thank you, Norm Powell. Thank you, Amir Coffey. Thank you, Jeff Van Gundy. Thank you to the whole coaching staff. And by the way, I don't get on him when we lose very much at all. And people call me out for that. But those same people will not keep the same energy when our coaching staff is doing great. They'll say it's everybody else. It's Jeff Van Gundy. Nobody wants to give Ty Lue credit. He's doing a great job with his team right now. We have not had many complaints about rotations, about the way we're playing. He is maximizing basically everybody on this team. Put some respect on Ty's name. For all those years we had Glenn Rivers, should be very thankful that we have Ty Lue right now. Love the guy. Got us to out of the second round, broke that curse. He's done a great job, and he has not had his star player for like his whole time as our coach. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DimeDropperPod. Subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, for even more LA Clipper, LA Sports, and NBA content. And I will be going live, honestly, on Friday afternoon because I did not go live to talk about this game on my own channel. So I'll be talking about that a little bit more and answering general questions as well. And, of course, Locked On Clippers is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Let me know what you thought of the performance, what you thought of the episode, Derrick Jones Jr. being back, if Kawhi Leonard's going to come back against Golden State. It's looking increasingly close to, Kawhi coming back. And, man, I can't imagine how good we're going to be. It's going to take some time, but when we start getting Kawhi into the swing of things and he starts feeling like himself, oh, boy, we're going to be one of the best teams in the league, let alone the West. Remember, Locked On Clippers has a newsletter, the Locked On Clippers Daily Newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox, written by yours truly. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. The age-old proverb continues, good win, go Clippers.